Hi, for this video, what we're going to do is compare discounts. What we have is a coat sells for $65.99. The coat is marked down 10% and the customer has a coupon for an additional 15% off. Is this the same as receiving a 25% discount? So let's look at the math on this. So the first thing that we have is that it's marked down 10%. You can calculate the cost that they're going to pay after that in two ways. One of which is you can take the $65.99 times the 10%. And remember that anytime you're dealing with percentages, you do have to convert them to a decimal. So they're going to get approximately 6.599 or $6.60 off of the jacket. So then to find the price, we would do $65.99 minus $6.60, and we get $59.39. So this is with the 10% off discount is $59.39. Okay, the other way that you could have calculated it, which is what I typically do when I'm out shopping, is instead of saying that I'm getting 10% off and having to do the math where I subtract, I know that I'm paying 90%. So if I'm getting 10% off, so if I multiply this by 90%, it will give me the same answer. I'll still get the same $59.39. So whichever way makes more sense to you, you can calculate the 10% discount. From there, we are getting 15% off of this new price. So this is our new price of $59.39. And again, you have the choice of finding the discount. So I can take the $59.39 times 0.15 gives us approximately $8.91. So I do just round to the nearest dollar or to the nearest cent because it makes the most sense in this case. And then from there, we would take the $59.39 minus the $8.91, and we end up with $50.48. Okay, or we could have calculated by this by doing 59.39 times 0.85 because we're paying 85% if we're getting 15% off, and we would also get the same thing of $50.48. Okay, so this is the price paid for the jacket with the 10% discount followed by an additional 15% off. Okay, the question that was asked, is this the same as just receiving a 25% discount? So is it possible to add the 10 and the 15% first? So now let's look at what would happen if we got a 25% discount. Okay, so we would take 25% and multiply it by the original price of $65.99. And we end up with approximately 16.50 is our discount. So this would be the discount. So if we take the original price of $65.99 and we subtract the $16.50, we end up with $49.49. Or we could have also just done the $65.99 times 0.75, and we would get the same thing, the $49.49. So we can see that a 25% discount is slightly more of a discount than what we would get if we had 10% followed by a 15% discount. And that's because mathematically we're taking the 15% off of a smaller number, so we're not taking it off of the original amount of $65.99. So when you have two discounts, like a 10% followed by a 15%, it is not the same as adding those two discounts together. Remember that in order of operations, we always do multiplication before we do the addition and subtraction. So in this case, if we added them together first, you're going against the orders of operation. As always, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please let me know. If there are additional topics that you would like me to cover, please let me know that as well.